Took my cornrows out and now it's in a puff. I'm natural like Afro on Richard Pryor, only I really do have an afro. My jokes are awkward as hell. But wherever you are, I love you. If you are 5 hours away, a day away, or a day behind, I just hope you are having a blessed and wonderful day. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit about the shooting of a 15-year-old boy. I don't know the location, but I've been meaning to talk about this, but I haven't had time because I had other things on my mind. But I was thinking about this for a while. But what happened was there were three boys, I believe, coming home from a party. They were leaving a party. Police got a call that there was some underage drinking and they believed that they heard gunshots. So the black boys in the car, they were black boys. They were driving away. They were doing as they were told. They were leaving the party because it got too wild. They thought, this isn't the place for me. Let's go home. But unfortunately, the police were telling them, stop, stop right there because they were black boys in a car. But they were backing away. They were driving off. So what the police officer did was shoot into the car and shot the passenger. And unfortunately, the passenger died. I am just disgusted because y'all can't do your jobs properly enough that when you shoot at someone, you have to kill them fatally. Like as said on the Tom Joyner show, I believe, Sybil, she asked what they couldn't have shot at the tires or something. Why did they have to shoot into the passenger side of the car? That doesn't make any sense. And this was a straight A student. He was a good child, which does not matter. Here's what I don't understand. Why is it when a young black boy or girl is killed fatally by the police, we have to bring up that they were straight A students? I mean, I guess it would be less tragic if they were just kids doing absolutely nothing. But people were like, oh, he was a good boy, so there was really no reason to kill him. Like, no, that's not me. It doesn't matter if he were a straight D student or not. This child was killed senselessly. And it's just another sad case of an innocent black boy that really did not look of any harm being killed just because he had brown skin. Tamir Rice, Trayvon Martin, Mike Brown, all these children killed just because what? They were black. Black boys aren't seen as innocent. Black boys aren't seen as teenagers. They don't get the same treatment as white boys that always are told boys will be boys. Ryan Lochte at 33 years old was told that, oh, well, you made a mistake. It's okay. Just because he forged a robbery or faked a robbery or whatever. It just does not make any sense to me. And I understand in the black community, yes, the boys will be boys rhetoric does work when it comes to how black girls are seen as fast and how black boys, if they get in any trouble with a black girl, it's the black girl's fault. Yes, I do understand that, so don't be mentioning that to me. Like, I understand nuances. I can defend a group of people while still understanding that they can also be oppressors to another group. So I don't want you to put down under the comments, well, yeah, black boys are told boys will be boys when it comes to, yeah, I know that. Like, I talk about this all the time on my channel, my Twitter, and Tumblr. Like, you're being redundant. But as I said, black boys aren't seen as boys. They are seen as violent. They are seen as sexually charged. They are seen as brutal just because they are black, just because they have darker skin than others, because this does not apply to lighter skinned boys most of the time, of course, but it's typically brown and dark skinned boys that are seen as more violent, more brutal, more abusive just because of the way that they look and the way that they are. So this infuriates me because no way should a parent be planning a funeral for their 15-year-old child. And this hits close to home because I knew a couple of black boys in high school that would try to be cool and hang out with the white girls and go to these parties because they were on the football team and they were cool. But then the white kids would be low-key racist, calling the opposing team niggers. I was there, but these boys just wanted to fit in and have a good time. They just wanted to get away from their home life, or because I think a lot of the boys that I went to high school with did not necessarily live in town. I think they were from distant districts, not too distant, but I do think they lived a little bit further because I think the school I went to, you could get away with living in another district if you were an athlete or something like that. But I heard cases where black boys would be going to parties and they would be drinking. There'd be marijuana there, and then the black boys would usually get arrested, or they would get caught. They would get suspended, expelled. They would never come back again. So to hear this is very sad. It's very unfortunate, because this happens a lot more than you think, where a black boy is in the middle of something that he shouldn't really be. He was at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's basically what I want to say. Like, a lot of cases where black boys and black girls are at the wrong place at the wrong time. It's very sad. I am like, apparently the police officer was fired because they had a body cam. At first he was put on administrative leave, but once they saw the camera and that it did not add up to the police reports, then they had to fire him. So that is good. Like, at least they get some type of justice. But my thing is, justice to me is bringing a child back to life. And if that's not happening, then I will never get justice. So I have prayers for the family and the friends of that boy. It's just very unfortunate. Another topic I do want to talk about is the Olsen twins, Mary-Kate and Ashley, where there was this photo floating around the internet with Nicki Minaj and the Olsen twins, and they were at the Make Gala. The Olsen twins look like themselves. You know, we all know that they did drugs, they had depression, anxiety, and they were involved in eating disorders. They had eating disorders for a while. I remember that because I was a huge Mary-Kate and Ashley fan, and I was thinking, like, what happened to them when I was really young? And I just did not understand, like, what was going on in their lives. So it was just kind of ignorance and just believing that, you know, these girls aren't, you know, these pretty innocent little white girls anymore. You know, these are just these adults that are just living haywire. But now that I'm older and more mature, I understand now, like, you know, they were going through things like eating disorders, drug abuse, depression, and anxiety for their upbringing. They have been acting since they were literally born. They've been on Full House since they were infants. My thing that I don't appreciate is how they are using the Olsen twins as a black don't crack message with Nicki Minaj, saying Nicki Minaj is 34 years old and the Olsen twins are 30, but the Olsen twins look like trash and Nicki Minaj looks like a fucking 16-year-old. That's basically the message they are sending, and I think it's all kinds of fucked up because, one, for us to sit here and say that we hate black girls being sexualized, especially at young ages like 12 to 16, but we are praising black women that are fucking grown for looking like those girls, you're not helping the case. You are encouraging pedophilia by sitting here saying, like, oh, I love the fact that these black women look like they are children, that they look like teenagers. I've been told literally that I look like a 12-year-old girl, that I look like a little girl. Now, do I appreciate that? No, because I want to look 23. I don't want to look like a child because I am not a child. I am a grown woman. So for people to keep insisting that I look so young and youthful, it's like, I appreciate the compliment because I certainly do want to be young, but I don't want to be a minor. No, like, I don't understand why we are praising women for looking like teenagers, but then wonder why so many men go after these young girls, because we are inflating the ages of these teenagers while we are deflating the ages of these adult women. I don't understand. I think Tana Mojo made a great point on her channel where it doesn't matter if I wear tons of makeup. It doesn't matter if I have my boobs out. I'm still a 16-year-old girl and no older men should be going after me. She made an excellent point because a lot of these YouTubers, these makeup MUA girls that like give advices to teenage girls, they get a lot of perverts going after them and saying, you know, you look like you are 23 and I can't believe you were born in 1999. Like, it doesn't matter. These are still children. These are still teenage girls. None of these girls should be sexualized. But in particular, like, a lot of black girls are being sexualized on the internet, where you have a 16-year-old girl in a full piece bathing suit being told, oh my God, like, what has she been eating? Has she been breastfed too much? Because, ooh, look at that body. So many black girls been having that body shape since they were fucking 8 years old. It's not abnormal to be a curvy 15-year-old girl. Like, I don't understand, like, she was in a full piece bathing suit, but you were too busy looking at her curves and her butt and her boobs. Y'all are fucking perverts. Y'all are perverts because girls develop differently. There were girls my age at age 11 that had the biggest breasts that you could ever see. And they were oftentimes picked on, called sluts, blah, 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 like just hypersexualized. So I don't get how you can sit there and say you are against that, but then want to praise black women for looking like they are 12, and then want to shame other women who don't look young. Some women look their age, and some women do not look their age. For you to sit there and thinking that you are uplifting black women by saying black don't crack, how do you feel about black women who actually look their age or may have early onset skin diseases and disorders because of drug abuse or because of depression and anxiety, and they were given drugs to help their depression and anxiety, but unfortunately they got hooked on them? That's another thing. People are saying, well, we can make fun of the Olsen twins because they chose to do drugs. No one chooses to get addicted to drugs. First of all, we choose to do drugs, okay? We take drugs for various reasons. Almost all of us tried marijuana or something to get high, okay? A lot of us smoke, okay? A lot of us do drugs. So let's just get this holier than thou righteous attitude out of the way and say that most of us do drugs. Just because your brain is different and didn't have something in them that say, hey, I'm gonna get hooked on this, doesn't mean you can put down other people who unfortunately did. Because drug abuse is just as much of a mental disorder as anything else, just like alcoholism is a mental disorder. Okay? It's genetics. It's a trait. Something in our bodies tell us that, okay, you're going to be alcoholic, or you may be alcoholic, and here are the risk factors. Drinking certain alcoholic beverages are risk factors. Taking certain drugs are risk factors. Everything is a risk factor, but it doesn't necessarily cause it. You already have the gene to have it, but contributing to certain things certainly, did not help, of course. But like I said, like, you most likely already had the gene to get addicted, and that's very sad. But I just don't appreciate it, because as someone who also suffered from eating disorders, as someone who does suffer from anxiety and depression, I don't feel uplifted when you are putting down these random women just to sit there and say black women look better than white women. Like, I can understand if they were Kellyanne Conway or Tommy Loren or Ann Coulter, racist white women, but the Olsen twins didn't do anything to us. I mean, yes, there was one little thing where they gave the chicken to the black man performing, and they were like 8 years old. Okay, that's like something problematic. Okay, you got me there. But leave the Olsen twins alone, because they look fine. It's just that they don't look young like a lot of these stars do. They look like the average 34-year-old woman. Like, you don't understand. Like, a lot of these celebrities can't afford to look a certain way. Like, a lot of these celebrities, the reason why they get plastic surgery and all of that is because they have an image to uphold. But y'all want to sit here and apply celebrity standards onto regular women's standards. And then here are the Olsen twins looking like regular women, and y'all want to shame them because they could look a lot worse. They could have a lot worse going on with them. Instead of saying, oh my God, these Olsen twins, they are doing just fine. I am so happy for them because they haven't been in the spotlight for a long time. I am glad that they are okay. No, the first thing you can say is, you look like trash. I'm happy that the Olsen twins are still relevant. I am happy because they've been through so much. But for you to sit there and tell someone you look like trash after years of rehab, after years of drug abuse, after years of depression and anxiety for whatever reason, that's terrible, especially when child actors go through a lot, boys and girls. You don't know what they've been through. You don't know who interacted with them, and y'all want to sit here and just blame all their problems onto them, those girls. With Amanda Bynes, I know she said something racist. I know, like, she has said a lot of foul things, but Amanda Bynes was a victim of sexual abuse on the set of All That, I believe. Or I believe that a lot of these adults that were supposed to be in charge of her abused her sexually or verbally, and she has schizophrenia, I believe. I believe she's schizophrenic, and that's no excuse to be racist or nasty and gross. But people were sitting here saying, like, she's schizophrenic, she's crazy, blah blah blah, like, just blaming it on her. But you don't understand that these child actors go through so much that can exacerbate or whatever you call it, exacerbate their mental illness or whatever onsets that they are having. So it's just very sad that people just don't have any heart. They don't have any empathy for people. They just want to put down others and feel righteous because they are sitting in their home just typing away, judging people that has a lot more going on for themselves than they do. One last thing. I wanted to talk about something, but I think I may talk about it in my other video. I think I'm gonna like make a whole video for that. So I'm just gonna like stop right here. But I hope everyone has a great day. Love you. Oh no, one more thing. Let's talk about Joe Budden's bitch ass and the Little Yachty situation. So last week, Little Yachty was being interviewed by Joe Budden. Joe Budden was asking him questions. Lil Yachty said that the reason why I made an album cover with two gay men, a black woman, and different people with different issues going on in their lives, or the reason why I put a bunch of marginal people on my cover was because I am an outcast and all these people are outcasts. And I just want everyone to be happy because we've been through so much. I am here to just take people out of their place of discomfort and just put them in a place of fantasy. I want everyone to be happy. So I'm like, okay, that's cool. Joe Budden's here like, no one is this happy, and that's not what hip hop is about. Hip hop is about blah blah blah. Like, that's not real hip hop to be happy. Joe Budden, I don't take you seriously. I don't take your little girlfriend seriously, Sin Santana. Like, she's a cunt because she has said so many horrible things about women, or she had said things in favor of men by putting women down. So I should know that you would also be an airhead if you marry that airhead or whoever the fuck she is, if she's your wife or whatever. I don't care. But both of y'all are ignorant. Little Yachty is 19 years old. He's cool. I like his music. At first, I was like, he's trash. I don't care for his music. But then once I actually listened to his music, I thought, oh, okay, I really like it. Especially when I heard Shoot Out the Roof. Because Lil Yachty can't rap. It's just, he's not one of those conscious rappers or I'm going to rap to be serious. He's just someone that wants to have fun, and I understand. And what really got me into him was when I saw that Target commercial, and I thought, wow, like, this virtual nobody rapper is getting so many deals, so many attention, and for him to be a dark-skinned black boy with red hair, like red braids and beads, and for him to just get so many deals, that was inspiring to me. So I thought, let me check his music out. Let's see what's he about. Because I've been trying to get into him for the longest, but it took that commercial for me to really say, let me hear that little Minnesota song. It's kind of catchy. But he's cool. Like, of course, he has flaws like everyone else. Like, I'm not going to sit here and say, like, he's unproblematic or he doesn't say things that are a little bit misogynistic. Like, One Night, that song is a little bit okay. But Lil Yachty, from what I understand, is a nice guy. Like, he's cool. There's nothing wrong with Lil Yachty. I think Joe Budden is just jealous. I think he can't stand that there's a new generation of rappers and hip-hop artists that are competing with these old heads. I think that's what it is. I do think that Joe Budden was just bitter, that he's jealous, like he doesn't seem happy. Like, every time I see an interview of Joe Budden, he's always like gruff and angry. And I just don't understand, because I am an angry person half the time. Like, I'm not gonna pretend as if I believe that you're happy 100% of the time, because I was agreeing with Joe Budden on that. But he was just being an asshole about it. Like, he was getting in that boy's face and just talking down to him. And Lil Yachty even said, now you want to apologize because you realize what an asshole you were. And he was an asshole, and people have been dragging Joe Budden to filth. And I don't feel bad for Joe Budden, because this is the same guy who allowed his side chicks to get beat up by his then girlfriend because he wanted to keep her or something. So I don't know, but this man is a woman beater. He is trash. Like, I don't understand. And then Sin Santana tried to help the slander by saying, oh, well, you call him irrelevant, but what you mean to say is insignificant. Like, bitch, you dumb bitch. Like, I don't understand. Joe Budden is trash. I mean, he had one song, Pump It Up. I didn't even know it was him until Cleo Thomas made a video about it. Like, I had no idea that was Joe Budden. It's okay, like, Ludacris is better, okay? Like, if you're going to sit there and say, oh, let's stand for Joe Budden because he had that one good song, like, out of that song, you have, like, 50 other Ludacris songs. So it's like, what's the point of a Joe Budden, okay? like, yeah, he had one iconic song from that era, but we had, like, Ludacris. So, like, we could have done without that song, like, for real. But I think a lot of people were just upset because Little Yachty did come from a bad situation, and he literally did come up from nothing, and he has every right to be happy. I'm not one of those people that believes, like, let's be happy, don't worry, and set your depression and anxiety aside, because Lord knows I'd be a hypocrite if I were to say that. But I don't think he was on that. I think he was just on, like, you've been through a lot, you need a break, so let's all just be happy and listen to my music and just party it up. Like, let's just take a break from the real world and let's come into this fantasy world. That's kind of like how the Earth, Wind, and Fire was like. The Earth, Wind, and Fire. I sound like an old person with a dub. But that's kind of how Earth, Wind, and Fire was like with their music. It wasn't about, let's just forget about the racism and the real issues, but let's just take a break. Let's just be happy, listen to some pretty music, and let's just chill. That's just how Lil Yachty is. He's not someone that's like, forget about your problems. It's just, let's temporarily just relax and just take a break from it. Let's just take some self-care. And Joe Budden just pretty much stomped all over it. I used to be one of those, I hate this new music. I hate YMCB, or whatever you call it, Lil Wayne and Drake and Nicki Minaj. Like, I hate all these people. Like, they're trash. But then it was part of respectability politics. It was part of, I want some real hip hop, the hip hop that made us look smart and not ignorant, like. So what? People can brag about cars and rims. People can brag about, people that they meet. I'm not saying let's brag about bitches and hoes, because Lord knows I hate that. But it's like, these rappers have every right to brag about their riches. I don't care about them bragging about having foreign hoes. I don't care, because why are you bragging about dating bitches that would have otherwise called you a nigger if you were just the same child from 2 or 5 years ago? I'm not here for that. Like, I don't see what's culture about racist non-black women trying to be one of the niggas but hate on black women. But hey, that's for another video, as I said before. Like I said, I'm going to sign off now for real. It's going on 25 minutes, and I'm going to get something to drink and just chill. But put down under the comments how you feel. Suggest what other things I could talk about as well, because I'm kind of running out of ideas. But have a great day.